right, guys, welcome back to the ALGS channel. Hope you guys are all doing well and having a great day so far. Today was a massive day for Apex Legends fans, and especially that of the esports scenes. A lot of changes here in the meta, and so much of an update here that I don't think we've ever seen as Apex fans, as Apex players, and especially if you guys are esports competitors, you're probably never going to see an update like this again, especially as massive as this thing actually was. Which teams will prevail through all of the changes? Which teams will fall down after all of these changes? A lot to discuss, a lot to talk about, and especially with the FaZe roster update, there's a lot of predictions that we had, and it seems like now with more news coming out and some of these roster changes updates, is looking like it's going to go exactly as we had planned. At least that is a story as of now. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you guys want to stay up to date, all things Apex Legends esports related. And without further ado, let's jump right into this. So the first thing I wanted to mention here, I thought this was kind of funny. Apex Legends Status put this out earlier. Sweet Dreams at 62 kills during the playoffs. Imperial Hot at 59. Just kind of, I guess, throwing some bait out there for these guys to beef it out. Hal basically says subtract all these charge rifle kills and we'll see what the actual kill leaderboard is. Sweet Dreams showing that he's at the top of all these kill leaderboards for like the most part of last year, I think, as well. Imperial Hal hitting him back with the Rip Bozo, showing that he's the all-time kill leader and all of this stuff. And then, you know, Sweet just kind of saying, look, you had to delete the tweet, then repost it. So the effect is just less. I think this tweet is actually old because I'm pretty sure that Nathan is above this 1,000 kill leader as well. And then maybe Sweet should be a little bit higher than this as well. But regardless, I think Imperial Hal is still the top of the top and has the most kills in the ALGS history. Just thought that was worth mentioning there. I think you literally could not have had a better story of script writing for the Apex procession to end. TSM winning the LAN, fans going crazy, NRG getting second place, Sweet Dreams, having the most points out of all of this stuff. Literally probably the best possible case scenario that the LAN could have had in order to revitalize the player base and the viewership as well, especially during this great season update that we're about to go through. And that's where we begin to get in the conversations of roster updates. And there's one specifically with FaZe that we'll get into in just a little bit, but this was another one coming from E6 that I was actually surprised by. Now, I know these guys probably did not have the placement that they wanted or necessarily the best possible case scenario that they were looking for, but I thought that they still played pretty well. E6 had even one part where the guard was up on a rock on Storm Point. The guard had to drop down on him. I think E6 took him out, and E6 had to fight the last fight as a 3v3, but they had two guys that were cracked, and they were able to pull out this clutch. It was an amazing way that they kind of separated the opponents there, and they were able to pull out a massive clutch and 2v3ing, I think, one of the teams at one point. So just unreal stuff. But despite all of that, they decided to part ways. And this is actually coming from Apex Esports transfer updates. Thank you to Dr. Fang for tagging me in this. But Amphi actually came out and basically is publicly announced now that Element 6 is no longer his team, as he has decided. Actually, E6 decided to part ways with him, and he is going to be that roller player that is exiting that E6 roster. And the source coming from E6 specifically saying, what an incredible LAN. However, we have an update to share with our fans. This was Amphi's first and last LAN event with the Apex squad due to IRL personal reasons. So it's good to know that it actually wasn't E6 saying, look, you guys suck, you guys didn't place well, or Amphi saying, screw this team, I hate this team, I don't want to play. It's nothing like that. Apparently just obviously something that he's I guess going through in real life. And obviously that is going to change the way that the roster is going to look moving forward, and saying that he'll be remembered as one of the best E6 players. What an incredible LAN performance. He will be missed. So with that being said, they are now looking for a new third E6 and a new third permanent replacement, and definitely something to look out for. Sucks to see people like that leave, especially after a decent LAN performance. However, it's happened sometimes. But this is the big one, though. This is the one we've all been looking for. We have been covering that FaZe is set to pick up the ESA roster, and moving forward, obviously now that Alberlelli left, Slurpee has left as well, Snikedown is by himself over on that FaZe team. He's been playing a whole lot with ESA. ESA did pretty good at this LAN event as well, and so now it looks like this is where the change will come through. I'm not sure off the top of my head if FaZe has a coach, who their coach is, but I do know that the coach coming from Esports Arena was Kim Chi Lee. Now, these guys may have just, they might be splitting up personally as well. Phony might not be with Kim anymore. However, we have pretty sure, kind of stapled it at this point, that Phony and Luda would be joining FaZe and joining that FaZe roster over there with Snikedown. That is exactly what was supposed to happen. Now, Phony actually came out along with Kim saying that they are leaving Esports Arena and they are now free agents. The confusion that I'm having with all this, I've kind of consulted with Apex Comps here. I've kind of consulted with ALGS Intel as well. And the hard part to understand in now all of this is is Phony actually a free agent now, or is he basically announcing that he is leaving ESA, therefore you can now buy him out? So we know this, that before this, ESA had an Optic roster that Optic bought out, but can ESA actually sell this roster to FaZe? Or is Phony basically saying, I'm free, pick me up now? I'm obviously dirt cheap free because no one else has taken a chance on me quite yet. So therefore, FaZe could just get a very easy grab with little to no down payment at all. You would love to see that for FaZe. Obviously, FaZe is going to probably take advantage of that if that is the case. However, Luda, I was wondering why Luda was not on here. He was actually never officially signed, according to ALGS Intel and Apex Comps, to ESA. Therefore, he's always been a free agent and basically always been calling a stand-in at this point. And so that would kind of mean, in my opinion, FaZe is about to just get an amazing roster for completely free, and ESA would not be able to sell them out as they did before. All of that is not necessarily 100% set in stone. Maybe Phony would still have to be balled out. Kimchi Lee as well. I'm not sure. Would Kim actually be going there over there as their coach as well? I'm not sure exactly what FaZe's plans are, but we do know that Phony and Luda should be the second and third going forward for this FaZe roster. And even the official tweet coming from Phony saying, thank you all for the support. Looking forward to grinding and improving myself after this LAN. And as of now, I am a free agent. Not will be a free agent, but I am a free agent. That makes it, I mean, he's free. I mean, he's obviously free to pick up. That's what it sounds like. And I can't wait to get an opportunity to prove myself again until the next time. FaZe honestly could be something to look out for going into the next split over here. Snip3down obviously not having the performance he was looking for with this latest split with Albert Lely and Slurp. So I would actually imagine, as good as ESA has been performing consistently, these guys are something to look out for. Definitely got to give it to them. And I believe they placed like 15th over here at the latest split. Yeah, 15th right here. So they didn't get top 7, which means they did not automatically qualify for the world championship at the end of all of this after the second split playoffs. So if they did qualify top 7, I wonder if all of this would have played out any differently at all. But regardless, or maybe if like FaZe picked up that spot, if FaZe picked up the roster, I'm not sure exactly how that would have worked. However, that is what the standing is right now. More than likely, FaZe is going to look better and stronger in the next coming split. Maybe TSM and NRG actually have a little bit more competition with the big boy organizations as it stands. Also want to thank Dr. Fang for tagging me in this one on Twitter too, because look at this. Oxygen Esports, we know probably the most underperforming team here. You guys can see losers round 1. These guys got knocked out. North America squad that did not live up to the hype, unfortunately. That's Hill, Enemy, and Crook. These guys obviously did not perform well. We kind of expected this to go down. We kind of expected a bad LAN performance would probably be a roster change. And look at this. Crook already announcing they are looking for a team for split 2 of Pro League. And if you look at a tweet longer here, basically it says nothing but love for my teammates. It was a great ride. We had, playing together, and I respect the decision that they have made of letting me go. After my experience at LAN, I know that I can make it there again and do better than I did this time. I know I can win the right set of people though, and I'm hungry to prove that I can do it. So it looks like Oxygen Esports has decided to let him go, and they are going to be looking for a new third. Also kind of just showing the requirements here, or like his accomplishments here, and the roles that he can play and what he can do, providing a new roster. So a very good pickup here for other rosters looking to make a change. I know that he didn't play that well probably at the ALGS LAN here recently, and I know that Oxygen as a whole did horrible. But regardless, definitely made it, look at other people. He made it to the LAN and FaZe didn't make it. So how can you really knock that at the same time? So, very interesting stuff to see. Some of the changes, though, that I told you guys we were going to see with this whole new meta is going to make teams probably that sucked maybe a little better. Teams that were really good, maybe a little worse. Teams that were really good, maybe even better. I don't know. But regardless, we're going to have some big changes here. And some of these things are definitely worthy to know. Obviously, we know there's care package change, but look at this. The meta may change as well with the weapons, because the G7 and the CAR are both coming out of the crafter. We also know that support legends may be used even more. Players like Lifeline may be used even more, because look, now she doesn't get like that movement stun whenever you pop the res. Also, she can get her care package 10 times faster than normal. But not only that, support legends can now craft banner cards even if you don't have their if you didn't retrieve their banners and they expired, you can get them back. You can just simply craft them now like you can in Warzone. So this is going to make competitive so much different and a lot probably more complicated when it comes to all this. But also some of the OG legends got massive buffs. Mirage got a buff. Wraith got a buff, a nice one, but might I mention. Pathfinder got a very nice buff. Horizon got a nerf. Seer got a nerf. Literally the entire meta is different. Like it's like flip-flop opposite now. Bloodhound like nerf to the ground. Seer as well. So it's just unbelievable how all of this is going to change. I got to imagine that Skirmisher class is going to be a massive pick rate here. Pathfinder and Wraith, they've got to be in the meta. There's no way that they're not in the meta. Mirage would probably be the first time we've seen Mirage in the competitive meta. I would love to see this. Probably some amazing outplays as well. It's going to be a sight to see as we move over into the split 2. Let me know what you guys are thinking down in the comment section below. Which teams do you think will prevail through all of these nerfs and buffs? And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time. Later, Gators.